I could say that I'm speechless, but I have to shout over Ennio Morricone's music to say that I feel like I just fell down a rabbit hole into Thom Browne's macabre wonderland. It was scary and mythological, and because it was a fashion show, it was also full of some pretty incredible clothes.
You know, it was more imagery than it was the intellectual approach of it being mythological or what. It started with the silver shoes, and then and then the fabrics, and then because the fabrics were so fantastic and so surreal in a way, I wanted the presentation to be so surreal, and that's where the Minotaurs came in, and so it was more just a visual kind of nightmare.
I want to know how somebody who's a connoisseur in one discipline responds to something like that in another.
The first thing that was clever about it is that they'd sort of established non-human, wasn't it, when those guys came out in the beginning? That's wonderful, this show.
Now, Thom Browne is very popular in Japan, isn't it?
Yes.
When you see a show like that, you understand why.
The presentation itself is a kind of a pop art presentation, but carefully watching the clothing itself, this is the most wearable clothing we found out.
I think it was absolutely incredible. Clearly one of the most spectacular, in the true meaning of that word, shows we've seen in Paris. And I think it's actually quite a true and quite a almost dangerous suggestion that all of the preppy totems that we've accepted as such blasé, vanilla, not even worthy to be noticed, are in fact as stylized as anything from another planet.
You've always said you wanted to do your shows so that you would make people laugh and so on. So this was a more personal thing in a way. This was more about you.
Oh, the shoes were very much about me. And the clothing too, because it was very iconically American preppy clothes, but taken to a point that the colors were a lot more fantastic than true colorful clothes. And that's where the fantasy of the whole story came.